Hey, what's going on, everybody? Taylor Platt here with your latest forecast. We're talking about Tuesday, October 14th. Some fall-like weather, fantastic fall weather is expected for your Tuesday. And yes, we're still talking about our first frost potential for at least parts of the state once we get into Wednesday. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Here's a look at your forecast lows for your Tuesday morning. Starting off in the lower 40s for the most part, at least the northern part of the state will be. Once you get down into central Alabama, you're talking more mid 40s for your Tuesday morning. Can't completely rule out some upper 30s across northeastern Alabama, but I think most places will just remain in the 40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, a lot cooler than what we saw today. Temperatures getting up into the upper 60s, the more mid 60s across the northern part of the state, and then more upper 60s, around 70 degrees across the central part of Alabama. Some of the hilltops in northeastern Alabama might just stay in the 50s on your Tuesday. Now, winds, it will be a little bit breezy tomorrow. Could see some sustained winds during the afternoon around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Could see some gusts around 20 to 25 miles per hour. So it will feel a little bit cooler out there, especially if you're in the shade as opposed to the sunshine. That wind will make it feel just a tad bit cooler. Here's that frost potential Wednesday morning that we've been talking about. Lows Wednesday across the northern part of the state will be in the mid and upper 30s. Now, it's going to be the areas that get closer to the mid 30s that will likely see the frost potential. So we're talking about temperatures that get down to around 35 or 36 degrees. Those will be the places that see the better frost potential on your Wednesday. If you only get down to around 38 or 39 degrees, I think your chances are going to be less. It's not unlikely, but I think it's going to be a little bit less than that you see some frost potential on your Wednesday. Thursday could also feature some frost potential as well. Wednesday afternoon, definitely a cool one out there. Places in the northern part of the state might not get out of the 50s. I think a lot of places do, though. That I think we'll get around 60 degrees at least for a good portion of northern Alabama. Once you get down to central Alabama, temperatures a little bit warmer. Tuscaloosa coming in at around 63 on Wednesday. Montgomery coming in around 64. Warm spot on the map Wednesday will be down near Mobile, and Gulf Shores coming in around 67 and 68 degrees down there. Here's a look at your temperatures over the next several days across the area, starting off at Huntsville. Temperatures starting off in the 60s, again, for the rest of the middle of the week at least. Once you get towards the end of the week, we'll see temperatures get back into the mid and upper 70s and eventually up into the 80s once we get into next week, some low 80s. Overnight lows, there's that frost potential Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures down in the mid 30s, and then we'll eventually get back up into the 40s and 50s by the time we get into the weekend and next week. Birmingham, basically the same thing. Temperatures down in the 60s over the next few days, and then quickly rising back into the 70s to around 80 by the time we get into the weekend and next week. Tuscaloosa, same situation. Temperatures 60s for the next couple of days, and then eventually up into the 80s once again. Overnight lows in the 40s and 50s for you guys down there in western Alabama. Rainfall over the next 7 days is going to be non-existent, even beyond 7 days. There's a chance that we might not see our next chance of rain until the end of October. So there could be a couple weeks here where we do not see any drop of rain across the state of Alabama. Now, we did see some activity last night or early this morning across parts of northeastern Alabama. Had some showers and storms that developed, like I talked about last night. That was a chance for that area, but that is the only activity that we're going to be seeing most likely over the next several days. Here's a look at the latest National Hurricane Center outlook. They have upped the chance for tropical development across the Atlantic to 60% now. There is also an area near the just south of the Yucatan Peninsula near Central America that could get going, but the way the steering currents are, anything that does develop down there will just quickly move west into Central America. So that's not a worry for us here in the United States. We will still have to watch that area in the Atlantic. I still think that our pattern favors that anything that gets close will just get kicked away because of high pressure and some troughing activity across the eastern United States. So I'm not really too concerned about that one. We'll, of course, keep an eye on it for you guys, but at this moment, I do not see this being a huge issue to the United States, Gulf of Mexico, or Florida, or even here in Alabama. I don't see that being an issue, but of course we'll keep an eye on it and we'll make forecast adjustments when needed. But we won't have a really good idea until we get a actual area of low pressure that really gets going that we can track. It's pretty closed already, but there's not a lot of shower and storm activity with it, so it's not tropical. But until we get something that we can really latch on to tropical-wise, we won't have an exact way to know exactly where this system ends up going. That's what I got for you guys tonight for your forecast going into your Tuesday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday out there, and we'll catch you tomorrow night for your next forecast update.